Right, hello. Hopefully it notifies people that I'm on. I thought I'd do a not member stream today. I was going to say I was planned on doing a member stream originally, but then I thought it wouldn't notify people if I did it. So I might do one of those tomorrow if anybody's on to watch it. Let's have a look at the second-hand cars while I'm waiting for people to come on. Just buy that for a laugh. 1.2 litre Fiat. Alright, Tooth Fairy. Yeah, I haven't been on most this week because I sort of got, I don't know if it was a chest infection or what it was, but my chest's been really sore and I've sort of had like annoying cough and hiccups and like that sort of stuff. So, that's why I wasn't on most this week. So that's why I got a video uploaded today because, yeah, let's try a crappy Fiat 500 out. I wanted to see if the Golf had turned up in here again because when the Golf turns up, I definitely want to get that, but yeah, I'm hoping that as of like today and tomorrow and all that, I'll be, back to normal again because I felt a hell of a lot better today. But yeah, Monday I didn't feel great, but not awful. Tuesday I definitely came down with whatever it was because I felt really lethargic in the afternoon, and then yesterday I was pretty, not feeling great. But what's the fun fact? But all right, AK. If I didn't say all right already. And I have got it set to live chat, so hopefully it should show everybody's comments and not hide them, but you never know, it's YouTube. That's interesting, I wasn't even looking at it, but what was that one, the cars? But yeah, I saw Mike's not been on Twitch since some point last week. Yeah, I missed Mike's one last week. Not because of that, but just missed them, and then, you know, like then he hasn't been on anymore since I've been on. Because I normally miss the Friday and Saturday ones because I'm at work Saturday and Sunday early in the morning, so I normally go to bed quite early on them. Right, let's just try this with this car stock and see how crap it is. Recommended 380, and my PP is 274, right? So, this probably won't go well, but let's try it. I'm not really planning on upgrading this car, I just bought it for a laugh. Right, I'll turn the engine noise down a little bit in my head. Let's see if they modelled the dash on this. Ah, yeah, nice, they have. Not that I really like that dash at all, it's quite ugly, but as long as I don't brake, I should be fine. But this isn't a particularly good car, is it? Because I know this is stock, but at stock, if it can't beat quite old cars. Because this is beginner races in the game, which they expect you to be able to beat with, like, really cars. I'll read your comment in a second. The only problem with this Tooth Fairy is once you start driving, unless it's a comment that completely fits in a little PS5 box on the screen. Alright, hi. Yeah, I'm alright again today, because I caught something Monday. I didn't feel too bad Monday, but didn't feel like making a video because my voice was a bit sore. Then Tuesday and Wednesday I've felt quite rough, but I feel a lot better today. Everything else is alright at the moment. Yeah, it's just, just obviously like I caught something. I did a corona test and it wasn't COVID again. I think it might have just been like a light chest infection or whatever, but like I said, it was really irritating because it just made my throat go really sore. And yeah, it didn't seem to be corona. I did a corona test today and that came back negative, but it was those sort of symptoms. It was like not as bad as flu, but worse than a cold, I'd say. But yeah, cheers. But at least the worst of the symptoms are definitely over now because I've been able to, do stuff today and have the energy to do it. Whereas the last couple of days have just been ones where I didn't really want to get out of bed, other than sort of staying hydrated and that. It was one of those days where I just felt really lethargic. I had a bit of a temperature, but it's cleared off now, so that's good. But yeah, so I would not recommend this particular car. I know it's stock, but still. The fact that these Toyotas are beating me. There we go. I don't know the Fails Onyx. I know Fails as a company, or like however it's meant to be pronounced, because they're the ones that make the N-Laws and everything, don't they, in Northern Ireland? But what sort of gen is it, that particular one? Is it like a current production thing, or is it an old thing? If it's a replica NVG, it's probably not going to be very good. Do you mean... Because, I mean, in theory of NVGs, if you can get a replica housing, you can get... you could put, like, anything in it, couldn't you? And have it anything to look like it from the outside. Ah, right, nice. But yeah, like I said, I know they're based in Northern Ireland, and they, you know, do quite a lot of British military, missiles, like, you know, missile guidance tech and everything. Saying that N-Law's the pretty popular thing at the moment because of Ukraine, but they do make quite a lot of stuff. I think they're the one that makes Starstreak as well, don't they? And the other one that's not Starstreak but has the same looking launcher that works more like a Stinger. Right, I'm not going to keep using this car. Just to do that race with a proper car. Yeah, Tooth Fairy, the thing is, obviously, if it's like current military spec, it might be technically illegal to sell it on the civilian market. Oh, this doesn't count as a road car, that's annoying. The Ford GT06 counts as a road car, though. Hello? None of your business? Yeah, because I think that's like one of the few things the MOD actually does get properly funny about, is sometimes like nods. That's probably just because of how much they're worth. Oh, there goes my clean race bones. See, this car's much better. Ah, that's good to know, Hype. So yeah, they're just really good. They're just unobtainium, aren't they? But yeah, I'll do a members stream for any of the members tomorrow evening, a similar time to tonight. But yeah, I won't, like I said, I didn't want to do a members one tonight in case it didn't send a notification out to anybody, just simply because I thought that would be typical, because I made a sort of statement thing earlier on the channel and I uploaded a video. I thought they're not going to share it. How do you mean, like, there we go, I've looked at the chat again and crashed the car. How do you mean, like, labelling a Willys Jeep as the same as, like, a Humvee or a Hummer or whatever? Do you mean, like, because it depends completely what they're classifying it as? A military vehicle? An off-road vehicle? A 4x4? Alright, let me check the chat in a minute. Yeah, I completely get what you mean there, Hype. So yeah, it's probably easier to get the tube and then build a unit around it, like you did with my NNVT, rather than actually trying to, yeah, get a complete original set. That seems very strange, because in the yeah, I don't get stuff like that, because a Willys Jeep isn't very tactical in modern day terms, isn't it? Do you mean the PNV 57As or the E's? You can also get the ones that fit on helmets. Those, I mean, they're not good night vision by night vision standards because they're obviously Gen 0 or Gen 1 pluses, depending on which type you get. But they're cool things. I like them. It's just don't spend a lot on them. Like they do the nice old transformer hum when you power them on. And there's lots of DIY battery sets you can get for those to power them easily enough. That's not an issue with them, like some of the old Geiger counters, but. Yeah, sometimes, Scooter, I get a lot of things where people subscribe to me based on a certain set of videos or, like, you know, whatever, and then don't come on for ages. Because I got that a lot with Corona. I got loads of people subscribed for gas mask videos when Corona was about, but then not since then. So I've unlocked all the racetracks now, haven't I? Let me just check the second-hand cars again. Yeah, why is it that when you want a car in this, it never turns up here? Because, yeah, like, on day one of getting this, I was like, oh, I'd like an old Golf GTI, and it's there for, like, 50,000 in-game money, but, you know, I don't have the money, and now I've got way more in-game money, because I can do, like, the, you know, harder races. You know, that's pretty typical, isn't it? But... Ooh, a DeLorean. Not that I actually want a DeLorean, not for the money it costs in-game. Yeah, because with the modern cars, you can get cars, I think it's post-2000s in this place, quite easily. Right, Rich? I had, like, either a cough or a chest infection of some sort over the last couple of days. That's why I've not been on, but thankfully that seems to have gone as of today. No, sadly not. It's not realistic in that mode. It's not like a simulator in the sense that you buy a used car and it's a piece of junk and it breaks down. Although if you put the harder difficulties on, they do like come with worse, you know, like initial specs on them, so bits do wear out faster. You wouldn't need 12 D or C batteries for it. They're between 12 and 24 volts, depending on how you set the transformer, so it'd probably be like 9 batteries you'd want. Like 8 or 9 batteries. But you can actually, I find, if you set them to 24 mode, you can just put two 9 volts together and that powers them really well. And two 9 volts is a lot less, you know, power. I did a gas mask video today. So you didn't watch it then, I take it. But again, like I've said before, it's gas mask videos. I'm not going to just keep doing the same videos on the same things. So I have got some planned, but it's when I get a chance to do them. Alright, Dan, I'll do a members stream tomorrow, Dan, if you're on tomorrow. I thought if I tried to do one today, I thought it wouldn't send it out to anybody. I thought that would be typical. So I thought I'd just play this for an hour tonight, and then hopefully as well tomorrow my throat's a bit less scratchy as well. Again, I don't know if I actually got an infection or if the hay fever just really set my asthma off, but it was horrible the last couple of days. Like, I was really wheezy all the time. And that's cool, yeah, because I knew you were mentioning that about, like, how much it would, you know, having one eye with the night vision, but yeah. It's good to know it actually works, alright. That's good, Rich. It's alright, Dan, I've mostly recovered now, but it's just quite irritating, because it was one of those things that, like, came out of nowhere. Felt fine Sunday. Felt a bit off Monday, but thought, oh, I'll feel better Tuesday. Then felt much worse Tuesday. I tend not to answer that anymore, Danny, just because you get people trying to dox you when you mention it. Because when people used to ask me that before, they were trying to look everywhere in my local area that might have been my employer based on what I said. So it's basically one of those things, it's probably best you don't ask it anymore. Yeah, I'll do a race in a minute. I was just looking at some of the newish cars in the game. Oh, I've already got that one, haven't I? Problem is, well, in this, is because you can win quite a lot of the cars. There's no point buying them for racing if you can win them. Yeah, that's the thing. It's probably just now like the residual sort of bit of a scratchy throat and whatever. But like I said, it didn't last long, which was good. But it did, you know, like for the first couple of days, when I noticed it properly, you know, knocked me quite out. So it probably means the immune system just went into overdrive to get rid of it. Yeah, what colour are the tiles on your roof exactly? Right, let's do a race anyway. Let me actually have a look at some of the missions just to see if there's any interesting ones on those. Those are just like weird challenges to do with a car. So I've done all of these ones, haven't I? Let me see if I can get this one up to silver, because if I can get this one up to silver, I think it gives me an additional reward, because I've done all the rest on silver. So yeah, this is one where you've got a set car, and it's a crap Fiat 500. And yeah, this is just one where, with a car with no, like, speed whatsoever, you have to try and win a race. Does it let me put the... Oh, I can put the TCS down, that might help. Because if you're not going very fast, you don't really need the traction controller. Although some of these races are the ones where it actually becomes easier to do them by putting the, like, you know, some of the things into more manual, because that's where gear shifting can actually help rather than the game trying to assist you gear shifting. Right, that twat's pushing me out the way. Yeah, and there's no nitros or anything attached to this. But yeah, annoyingly before, I think I came 4th, so meant I didn't get the silver. Or, no, I probably came exactly 5th, you know, a moment behind the 4th one. Because you don't have to become, like, obviously for gold, like, I think it's 1st and 2nd for gold, isn't it? And then silver is 3rd and 4th. So I want to try and do better than 5th. When you say in Germ, do you mean in Germany? Because I hope there's not Germs in your gas mask. That wouldn't be very nice. Alright, can't slow down, can't slow down. Don't want any of those guys to overtake me. Ones I don't get, though, is when they suddenly start coming up on your rear really quickly. Because, like, how can they manage that if they're, like this guy? If they're all meant to have the same brake horsepower as me, yet they can clearly go up the slope faster. Again, I know it's probably because the AI is, like, manually shifting exactly when it needs to. I'll read all your comments in a minute, because a bit too many came through at once that were too long for the PlayStation screen. Alright, maybe it's that that other side of the hill isn't as steep, I don't know. But as long as I can keep the other lot from not overtaking me now. But yeah, I'll read your comment in a second, Hype, and the other couple of ones I got. Alright, come on, down the hill as quickly as possible. Come on, come on, come on. I think having traction control off does seem to help on this track, just because you don't want the car to, like, you know, do any corrective steering on these corners. Because then you lose any of this, like, awful speed this car does. Come on, there's the end of the track. If I at least come 2nd, I still get a gold, I think. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, having traction control definitely helped on this. There we go. Right. Oh no, it's you silver. Oh, so why does it say 3rd then? So what was it? 1st for gold, 2nd and 3rd are silver. Never mind. That sounds good, Justin. So yeah, it's again, that's the dumb thing with some of those Soviet masks, because they'd be so much better if they just put a very simple oral nasal cup in, but they didn't. So yeah, I get you there, Hype. So somebody, because again, I wouldn't take the piss out of somebody for having, oh no, I have to get all gold, so I'm not going to bother doing that. Like, I wouldn't take the piss out of somebody if they were just doing, like, a storefront job. It's the fact if they then have a go at other people, you know, for something like that. 190 in what currency? But if that was pounds or dollars, I'd say that's a bit much. I mean, unless you got it completely new with all the accessories, but I think I got mine with all the bits and accessories for about £70, but that was before Corona again. And if you bought it from Myra under whatever name Myra sells it for, it would definitely cost you more than 190. Now, as they don't make them too fairy, I don't know if that would actually have an effect on it. Because the thing is, obviously, yes, it might, in terms of if Myra up their prices, everybody else with the masks would say, I can get a bit more for mine. But a lot of the time, the Myra prices have nothing to do with, like, the actual prices at all, if that makes sense. Or let's just do one of these where I've got a really overpowered car. I'm trying to think of a good way of explaining it. It's just, I think, because the Myra prices don't really reflect any real-life prices at all with what they charge for some of their stuff. American car suggested PP 700. Well, this one's got 813. This might have been the one I did the other day, actually, was it, on the stream? That's going to be boring if I'm doing that again, but... I want to find where I put my Scott Pro mask, because I really like my Scott Pro mask, and I want to check if the same inserts go in it that go in the GSR, you know, like the glasses ones. The Czech military company, whichever it is that makes them, Myra doesn't make shit, they just literally sell stuff at inflated prices. But yeah, Myra is literally, there's a reason nobody likes them. It's because they just sell other people's products where they've got a branding license to do it for inflated prices, and then make claims that the original manufacturers don't. So yeah, that's why, like saying, often Myra masks, they're like RRP for the masks is like, you know, literally 5 times what the surplus price is, even if you got it as a new surplus thing. Like, you know, the bag and everything still being sealed in plastic. And again, I bet if you buy a Myra one, it's not going to be like within the last year of production date on some of the stuff they sell. So I don't think some of their stuff is still in production stuff from the Czech army. At the moment, I don't know if they replaced the Forshader or whatever it's called, like the Forshader F2 or the Mask 90 or whatever it is. So if they're still using that mask, that's the one. If not, they've replaced it with something more modern. I don't know what it is. But that's a really nice mask. It's kind of like an S10, it's better. Oops, I spun out. Remember, because I looked at the chat. It's a mistake. But yeah, that's a really nice mask. It's just that, there you go, GP5's telling you they sell old PDF 7 masks for a ludicrous price. But yeah, they, I saw they sold baby coffins at one point for, a silly amount of money. You know, like literally the old Soviet, like pump a filter while your baby's in there. Like, Britain had. If I was playing more in simulator mode hype, I'd have smashed the car up doing that, I imagine. But yeah, it's just obviously this car's got so much more horsepower than the competitors' ones, because there's not an upper limit on it. This is super easy. Oh, there we go again. So yeah, that would actually really damage a car if you're playing on the hardest difficulty, because it does take into account like damage after one race applies to the next one. But in the mode I'm on, I think you can get some superficial damage, but they always, like, you know, it's always auto, like, gotten rid of by the next race. Have I still got the traction control off? No, that's on high. Right, let me put that on 3. So I don't know if it's trying to oversteer to, like, stop me sliding it round corners, and that's causing a lot of issue. The new child mask, what is that? Just a slightly more updated looking PDF? Because I've got, like, somewhere one of the more modern versions of the PDF, which looks a bit more like a GP7, rather than, like, the old ones. But yeah, if it's that, then yeah, that's a massive rip-off. Right, have a good evening, Hype. And like I said, I'll be on a members stream tomorrow at this sort of time. Yeah, Skeedmaster 90s, that was the one I was saying about, for Forshader F2. And there's the A4, which is the civilian variant. Yeah, that's the point, Tooth Fairy, is the reason a lot of people don't like them is because of what they charge for some of their stuff, and they make more claims than the original manufacturers do. So, because there was issues with that where they were, I can't remember if it was on the Geiger counters, but there was one thing they were selling which was a particular SOX model they had the rights to rebrand, but then they were claiming it would, like, do ranges of radiation the original counter wouldn't. And it literally won't, because all it is like that one with their brand name on it, you know, rather than another brand name. It was going to have all the exact same circuitry inside, you know, same Geiger Muller tube. It was just that they'd, you know, had to make it sound like it was better. I'm feeling a lot better today, Byron, the last couple of days, yeah. Monday I didn't feel completely awful, I just felt rough, and I thought, oh, I'll feel better by Tuesday. And then, yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday I felt really rough. Ooh, spinning out again. There we go. But, yeah, but thankfully, like I was saying today, much better. I made sure, like, first thing in the morning I took all my antihistamines, you know, used my inhaler and everything, and that seems to have paid off. But, like I said, if it was an infection, that wouldn't have been to do with it. But it's hard to know during, like, the height of hay fever season. When you get something that feels like a bad cold or, you know, like very mild flu, if it is the hay fever or if it is, you know, an infection. It's like, I did a corona test and that came back negative, but... So I'll do a members stream tomorrow, Byron, because I thought if I do one today, people won't know I'm on it, if it doesn't send out the notification. So, yeah, I'll do a members stream tomorrow. And then, during the weekend, because I'll be working probably like 10 hours again. It's 3.6 you want to, Fairy, not 3.4. It's 3.6, because it's 3,600 seconds in an hour. That's why it was 3.6 on the low-level counters. Although, that's still quite high-level, 3.6 Rungham. Yeah, I was looking to see if there was anything new, like, regarding Geiger counters and that, and the only thing I've seen that's, like, of interest is those, like, Chinese ones that are getting cheaper and cheaper for what they are, which is good, because they're not anything special, but they're not bad either for what they are. You know, like, you can put AA batteries in them and they'll, you know, give you radiation readings with a clicker you can turn on and off for about, you know, like 20 hours or something with 2 AA's in there, so... They're not bad, those Chinese ones, for what they are. It's just, if people bought them expecting, like, a high-level thing, you know, it's not going to be that. But for, like, the 40 to 50 pounds, they're starting to be, like, RRP now. That's actually not bad at all for what they do. Because it would literally tell you if your house has background radiation or higher. And 99.99 microsieverts is still not a good level to be around. Oh dear. Well, unless I was doing it on a racetrack, that's illegal to say, isn't it? So, again, not going to be answering that. Check the comments in a minute in case there was any actual questions I missed. But yeah, if you were saying about MD3s, yeah, rechargeable D cells will work fine in there, even if they're closer to 1.2, not 1.5 volt. They still work quite well, don't they? Again, the good thing is with like a lot of the more modern type ones is you can zero them very well, even if the voltage differs a bit from what the factory settings is meant to be. But that's where you have more issues with the older Geiger counter type things and ionization chambers. Is if you're using a battery that isn't pretty much damn on its original voltage, it won't zero properly, because they were literally built for, you know, a very specific amount of current going through them. fast. Let's not spin the car out this time. Oh, I didn't even notice a barrier there that I hit. Was there a barrier? I can see there's barriers there, or was it like some of those tyres and I was going so fast I couldn't even see them? Not in any recent times, Byron. I have done it before, but not in years. And I wouldn't actually particularly know many people near me that would like have the land where they could authorise you to do it on. Because obviously the thing is, you can't really take an air rifle or whatever onto just a field near your house. I'm sure a lot of people do. But it's one of those things where technically you can be done for armed trespass or whatever if you just take it on there and you don't have landowner's permission. And again, it's one of those things now where I don't even know who owns a lot of the land near us because people just buy it to speculate on the price. You know, like where people buy it and it just gets really overgrown and sort of, you know, horrible. So again, that's the sort of place where you probably could do it and get away with it, but, you know, if I'd ended a YouTube video of it and then saying like, look, I'm doing something that I don't have permission to do. Again, that's why a lot of the Urbex channels constantly get done by the police or like landowners, and they can't seem to figure out why. It's because if you've made a video showing you're doing something, you provided them with the evidence. It'd be like if I made a video saying, this is... I'll have to check again, Dan, but every last time I've checked, they've not updated the listing. I don't know if it's even showing as sold yet. But yeah, I'm very curious about that. Right, in a minute I'm going to have to turn my phone screen back on. Let me just pause and do it now, because it's done that annoying thing where, because I've not pressed anything on my phone for long enough, it's gone into power saving mode, and then I can't see the comments. That's cool too, Ferry. But, yeah, that'd be quite funny too, Ferry, if you did that, but yeah. I don't think I've been to a place called Meon Springs, no. The one quite close to me is Otmore. Again, I won't say any more than that, because that's, you know, putting a... Like I said, I know I've had dots and stuff done before, but like I said, I'll get quite careful about where I said I've been, but yeah. I've been to the one at Otmore, although I don't know if it's technically called Otmore, and there's 2 firing ranges there, so I don't mean like the army one that used to be rented out, because that was one that used to do some really cool shooting stuff, but sadly I don't think it's done. Like I don't know if any groups privately hire it now, which is a shame. But there is a place near there that's used for clay pigeon. But yeah, Dan, I'll have a look again in a bit, but not while I'm on stream. As I said, I'll do a members stream tomorrow about 6 PM, 7 PM sort of time. Because I'll be going to bed like not too late tomorrow, because like I said, I'll be probably at work at 7 AM or whatever, Saturday again, 7 AM till 6 PM, 7 PM sort of time. That'll be fun. But yeah, I'll have a check then if I don't remember to check myself tonight, but I'm hoping if it went, it didn't go for all that much, as in, you know, to indicate that if people put them up for sale, I'm hoping there's not going to be too much interest on the bids for them. You know, because obviously you want them to still have some interest in, don't you, that you think, oh, wish I'd bid on that now. But again, it depends on what their starting price was. But because I think if they were looking at getting 18 grand plus for it, their starting price would have been probably at least 14, 15 grand. But, yeah, I'm hoping that there's enough interest in them at the moment that people are going to keep listing them every couple of months. but not so much interest that people aren't going to be paying silly money for them again, like, you know, some of the ones that have gone for 50k in like the last year or two, because they are not worth going for 50k. And again, I think some of that is people speculating on land value. You know, if you get a field with it in. Oh, I'm spinning out again. No, I'm using a PlayStation 5 controller. And no, I wouldn't set one up because it would take too much room, and then I'd have to buy probably a proprietary steering wheel for the PS5 that then wouldn't work on my PC, I'd assume. Because I have an old steering wheel, but that won't work on modern consoles because it's, yeah, the wrong sort of connection. Like, I think it's a, whatever the fat sort of Xbox 360 sort of connection was. I don't think that was USB, was it? I mean, sodium hydroxide is the toughest chemical I can get. I can do it on some other masks that aren't worth much. Sadly, they're not listed buildings, so some people that buy them will literally just demolish them. Although, thankfully, some of the people that do buy them for land speculation don't seem to do anything with them, because then that's putting more money into it, so they just sort of hope that the field will be sold more. Yeah, see, that'd be where I'd be more interested in the cross-compatible one, but yeah, for one that only works on one system, no, because as I've said before, it's just more the room it takes up. You know, because again, like I've said to people before, it takes up quite a lot of your desk if you've always got on your desk, and I have enough surplus taking up room elsewhere in the house. I suppose if it costs 50 quid for like a minimum price for a good racing wheel, that's like half a tank of petrol at the moment, so I can't really justify it. Because, you know, if you saw down the video, the ROC post I went to have a look at near me, it wasn't for sale, I just went to have a look at one. As I looked at, you know, all the ones on Google Earth that still physically existed in my area that hadn't been demolished. And even that one was in a pretty bad state. Yeah, I have to think, Byron, which I have to look at the videos I've done so far and then pick one that I've not done and do it with, but, you know, ones that aren't rare, because people would flip out. And I also wouldn't want to damage, you know, like a mask just for the sake of going, oh, will this old mask survive, you know, being hit with these chemicals? Probably not, but let's do it anyway. Oh no, I fucked a mask up. But yeah, the ROC post near me, like I was saying, the surviving one near me, because there should have been some really close to me, but they're all long since demolished and like filled in, and stuff's been built on top of them. The ones near me that was around is basically like a torn off hatch that you can climb through, but bear in mind, like, you know, you could cut yourself on rusty metal very easily doing that, if you weren't really keen on trespassing. I don't know if it was flooded or not, because my torch wasn't bright enough to see to the bottom of the ladder, but it certainly did not smell nice, the smell coming out of it. And some twats had chucked loads of like bricks and stones down the air vents for it. So if you got it, you'd probably have to drain it out, replace the hatch, have all of the like air vents excavated, and then you know, like re-cement them. That isn't the hardest thing to do, it's just more the fact that somebody's gone to the effort of breaking them. And again, this one didn't have road access either, so it'd be one that you'd have to buy a very big field to have access to it, you know. So I think that's probably why this one's in this state, is probably because it's owned by a local farmer or whatever, and then, you know, teenagers probably went there to vandalise it after they've been drinking, I'd assume. Yeah, if you're near the coast, you can find pillboxes sometimes, can't you? Just like built, like, you know, about 100 yards or less from the edge of the cliff, or like, you know, the sea, overgrown with loads of stuff in them. Yeah, if it's inland, that's where it's more strange, isn't it? If you find like a pillbox that's really inland somewhere, not like near what would be a coastal defensive point. I know they did obviously exist inland, it's just, it's a lot less common. Well, that's the thing, there's lots of things like that, where if they are only intended to last a couple of years, like, it's no surprise that if they've been left to, like, vandalism and the elements for, like, decades afterwards, they've fallen apart, and, like, coastal corrosion. But, some of them, though, you can tell how well they were built, because if you find them of how just, wow, you know, held up they've been, with people obviously trying to smash them up a bit, and, you know, and just being exposed to stuff. I mean, that means it's protected, doesn't it, if there's bats in it? So then they can't get pulled down, at least. So Brentwood, the place close to Calvert and Hatch. That's cool, yeah. When they did an open Oxford thing a few years ago, I went in the old court, which had, like, jails in it that's not used anymore. So I've done jury service before and done that in, like, an actual, you know, like, the modern court is still there. But there's an old one that they open now and again, you know, like, on open days. Right, once I finish this race, I can claim my raffle ticket, which will probably be an awful prize, as usual. Oh, that's really far off the track now. Oh, recovered it, sort of. Oh, there's a problem with the server, it says. Let me retry and see if I can still read. You say it closed in 2016 or closes in 2016? Because I think it's 6 years too late if it closes in 2016. Oh, what, and then they realised that people could get in. Yeah, so, because again, like I say, that's the problem with a lot of the ROC posts near here, is the land value in Oxfordshire is so high. If any bit of land can be bought, somebody will build some sort of student flats on it or whatever and make a killing. Because the university buys up a lot of land, you know, and then the local people can't afford it, and then they just build more student accommodation on it for all the really rich, you know, like, because a lot of the Oxford Uni isn't people from England that go there, like the really, you know, expensive ones. It's, you know, like where some rich person in another country sends their kids to it. They essentially just buy them a place there, and, you know. So for them, money's no object, but it's just the fact it's a business that forces people out of the area. The thing is, though, I wouldn't think ghosts would haunt cemeteries, because most people don't die in the cemetery, do they? They die somewhere else and then are buried there, or, like, their ashes are put there. I've never seen anything in the local graveyards at night or the daytime. So I've had some weird experiences in other places, but none at all in any of the actual graveyards. But I think people can spook themselves up for graveyards quite easily. That's not to say, of course, if you believe in ghosts, that there might not be ones that are haunted, because I imagine some of the really big old famous ones could well be haunted if a lot's happened, you know, throughout history there. But I hear people are just dying to get in, Dan. It'd be a bit weird, though, wouldn't it? I suppose it depends, because if you had that on one side of you and no other houses around you, then you can't really complain about your neighbours then, can you? Because you can't say they're going to have their music on too loud in the night or whatever. Unless it's like Return of the Living Dead. Right, let me pause and read the comments. No, again, like, nobody knows for real a ghost, because people don't know if they're real or not. And it's never been scientifically proven either way, and I know people then say, oh, you have to prove they're real, but you know what I mean. So we have no idea how ghosts work, or if they're even sentient, or if it's like a recording that's been etched into somewhere. But like, I'll certainly say I've had weird experiences in places enough that I believe that something's going on. Yeah. Saying that, a couple of the ones near us, Dan, don't actually have the graveyard, like, it's not a churchyard one that's a bit weird. Like, there's a couple near me that are churchyards, but quite a few of them are almost like where I think they've expanded away at some point. Like, you know, they're like, oh, there's a lot more people living in this village now that'll be dying, we better get a field. But like I said, the weird experiences I had when I used to work at the Argos were like really, really weird. And you know, like literally everybody there believed there were ghosts. Like some members of staff just refused to go down into like the stock room like at certain hours of the day just because of how freaked out they'd get. Like there was a couple of times I found it freaky, but more of the time I just found it interesting. Like, you know, if you're having a boring shift and something weird happened. Although it would get annoying when items would move around. Because you'd get the thing where, you know, like you will go in and pick up an item that should be on a certain shelf and it completely moved. We didn't store the catalogues down there, otherwise they might have done. Now and again you might have something relatively heavy fall over, but a lot of the time it was just stuff moving in really weird ways, and like where we kept trying to catch the staff doing it because we thought it might be... oh shit. Spin across the finish line, there you go. I don't think they even do them anymore, do they, the catalogues? But yeah, we like, you know, try and catch whoever was doing it, and we never could. You know, like, you know, you could check CCTV who'd gone in there and who'd gone out, and you know, between locking up one day and, you know, like opening up the next day, a load of items might have been moved around, and like some of them were like where you'd need to get a massive ladder to get to the shelf, you know, where it had moved from or whatever. And, you know, we checked in case there was, like, a homeless person living in there, you know, in all the stuff like that. Never was. It's just weird shit, you know, where stuff would move around, or you'd sometimes get weird smells. What are you confused about with catalogues? There used to be a shop called Argos, which sort of still exists, but only in Sainsbury's, really, now. But they used to have like a retail catalogue. So you'd look through it in the good old days before the internet, or still into the time of the internet. And like, you know, there'd be a homeware section, whatever, you know, all that sort of stuff. So then you'd write down a number, take it into the shop, and they'd check for you if it was in stock. It was like Amazon before Amazon was a thing. Right, I bet I'll get the lowest amount of money. Yeah, see? It was almost stopping on those gold bars, but it's because I was getting the worst reward. 10,000, rather than like 100,000 or whatever the best reward would have been. Oh, wow. So I need to get an oil change on this car at some point. Yeah. If you're spraying actual proper pesticides, Byron, though, I would use something with a filter, because some pesticides can be absolutely horrible and have been linked to a lot of like cancers and things like that. Yeah, the catalogues were good, because, yeah, like you said, the catalogues, because you could, like I said, I used to test them for crossbow bolt penetration when the store wanted to get rid of a load of them. And, you know, as long as it looked alright on their numbers, as in, they couldn't fly tip them somewhere, but they could give loads to staff to, like, burn or, you know, use as door stops or whatever. And then it looked like our store had handed out more catalogues. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, sorry, so, like, air rifles type one or whatever. Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant, like, spraying shit then, when you were saying about the smock, but yeah. Yeah. I did not work in an Argos Extra, but Botley Road was an Argos Extra. What's the suggested PP for this? 550. So I need to have a Japanese car. Well, let's pick this one then, because it's a Japanese car with my highest PP. And when we say PP, we're not on about the willy, we are on about the performance points of the car. It's basically so you can't make cars for some races stupidly overpowered. which I like to do because it's fun. This there's just a bit more difficulty in the game, you know, so... But this track doesn't have that, but they still have a suggested PP, which is, you know, like the suggested power of your car, because if it's so high, as you can see, because my performance points probably like on average 200 higher than the other cars, you'll notice on the straights just how easily I overtake them. AI cars are very good at steering on this, but I suppose that's because they slow down to the exact right speed for their individual traction controls. Yeah, I do like the dash on this one because it's more of a retro dash. Yeah, like I said, right, Byron, I just recommend that, yeah, if you're ever using, you know, like stuff for actually spraying chemicals, because some of that stuff can be horrible, some of the, Well, the one I did today, Byron, or was it an older one, but yeah, I'll be doing one on GOST ones and NATO ones, like a proper one, but yeah, that was just the one I got done today, because my throat actually let me talk properly today. Oh look, somebody's drawn eyes on the bridge. Ooh, scary. What was that? I can't remember off the top of my head. Was it just looking at the filters that were available for sensible prices at the time? I don't know if they still do them, but at one point Prepper's Shop had loads of 3M 40mm filters that were very good at a reasonable price. I bought some to review and then never opened them. I occasionally sell masks when I want to get rid of them after I've done a few videos on them. But at the moment, because of, you know, how the economy is doing, a lot of people won't actually really be willing to spend anything on them, you'll probably find. Because I've had the issue recently where I've kept dropping the prices and surplus stuff that I'm selling already at under the market price, and to keep dropping it would be essentially giving it away for free. So, it's a weird market at the moment, because if you've got the money to spend, you can probably get something quite easily, but a lot of people can't justify spending anything. What, finding filters, do you mean, like all the different places you could look? 'Cause I know there was a thing a while ago, wasn't there, where like a lot of people didn't think to look in like places like Screwfix. And like, I think people were surprised that, you know, some of the, like, the hardware stores did actually always have stock in of 40mm, or, you know, tried to keep them in stock, just for, like, builders and that. I can link you to it at some point on a members stream, Byron, but I won't do it on here, because I've had people, you know, like, on purposely try and buy stuff and then refund it, because they know it was me selling it. So I obviously don't link to it on YouTube, because then you just get people messing you about for the fun of it. But like I said, it's public for people who want to buy from it. It's just I don't advertise what it is on here, because then I know I'd get a lot of people buying stuff and saying, oh, it didn't arrive, you know. But at the moment, there's only a few helmets on there, I think. But you might as well bookmark it and then see if anything goes on there that you're interested in. Final lap, but yeah, this car's nice. Yeah, that was not a good way of doing that corner. I'm still quite well ahead and like on the straight, so like I said before, I'll get even more ahead because nice turbocharged engine. It does sound like a turbocharger at least, which is nice. You get that lovely sort of whistling hiss noise they make. So for any of the members that are on that want to come on the members stream tomorrow, what time works best for you? 6 PM or 7 PM current UK time? Because I know for some people they'd rather it be a bit earlier, but obviously it depends on the person. If they're at work, then they probably want it a bit later. Yeah, I'll link you on the members stream, Byron. That'll be the easiest way of doing it. 7 PM for you. Yeah, it's just more so people know when. Right, if you and Dan both say 7 PM, I'll do 7 PM, that's fine. Yeah, it's just obviously I want to check before I do it, just so people know what time I'm going on in case it doesn't notify people properly. Then I can do about an hour. Although I won't have all the lights on again, just because this room at the moment, with this current weather, gets far too hot if I put the other light on. Alright, cool, Rich. Yeah, cheers. Like I said, I probably won't be on for Mike's stream later in the evening if he does one at 9:30 as usual, because I'll probably already be going to bed at that time, just because, like I said, Saturdays now I have such a long shift that I just go to bed really early Fridays. Normally. Was that the final bit? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I know he's not been on Twitch, but I didn't know if he'd be on YouTube, but like I said, I'd have missed a couple of his Twitch ones anyway, where I wasn't feeling great. There's a couple of helmets for sale at the moment, Byron, but they're ones where I've kept dropping the price, and if people, you know, but there's a point where I'm not, but I'll tell you tomorrow more, so that way, you know, nobody tries to, there's not many people on tonight, but you never know, because I've had that, like I said before, where people do it to be annoying, where they'll like try and then order a load of stuff or then like cancel bids on things, you know, that sort of thing. The second-hand car shop again, just in case it's updated itself. I'll do one more race in a minute, then I'll be off because I'll have been on over an hour from about now, so might as well do one more race. I wish you could hide cars that you've already got, but I suppose what it might do is just for one day just put loads of different cars on there. Yeah, I want there to be a on here. TI like there was the first time I played this game, and then it you know, has never turned up since. And I don't mean the modern GTI, because I've got that, you can just buy it from this shop, because it's never out of stock there. I mean like the, you know, 80s GTI. In the game I've got, you can see at the top, 1 million credits at the moment. When the Golf GTI turns up, the old one, it's only like 50,000. It was just on the first day I had the game. I obviously hadn't done enough races to get it, and then by the time I had the money, it wasn't there anymore. Oh, it depends, because if you buy a really expensive car, then you've knocked all that money off in one go. Right, what tracks? Could do Goodwood. Have I done this one before? I don't remember this track. Hang on. Oh, you can't do it on the thing, so yeah, this is one that... No race events on there. Ferrari. What's the... so this is 5 laps in a Ferrari. Now, I don't have any of the Ferraris that are actually close to 700, so... What about this one? Germany 700 or less. The M3 is quite good. I'll just do this one in the M3. I know that's not close to 700 points, but I have a feeling when I last did this one in the M3, I did it quite easily. I assume if I put both tyres to racing soft, it'd be too high, yeah. So I can't have those on there, but let's just see if there's any other settings on the car that I can do up a bit higher. Right, adjust that to that. Power restrictors on the 100. 100. Alright, let's just do this race on this one. 5 laps. PS5. I think this one's only PS4 and PS5, isn't it? I think like GT5 was PS3 and PS4, and like GT6 is PS3, PS4, and I don't know if that was PS5. But I'm sure this one's only PS4 or PS5. Yeah, I'm on the PS5 version, just because I got a PS5 when they were finally in stock last Christmas. And yeah, it's a bloody good console, I'd say, because I'm more of a PC gamer than a console person, but PS5's impressed me enough that, you know, everything's run well at a good frame rate, looking nice. I've actually liked it. But yeah, I'll definitely end the stream after this race, because I can feel my throat's getting a bit tickly again, and I don't want to strain my voice too much and not do a stream tomorrow. Yeah, like you were saying earlier, Rich, that's really annoying if they don't give you any notifications for members stuff. Because again, it's like you're paying for a service and YouTube's taking a cut of it. So, you know, they should, you know, give you that service, of course, man. Right, let's see on a minute on the straight how many cars I can overtake. Because it was a rolling start, wasn't it, this one, rather than everybody being at like the brake light sort of thing. So here we go, coming up to the straight in a moment. Right, so yeah, let's see how good this is on the flat out acceleration. So remember, this is where this car's pretty damn good. Yeah, that certainly gained me a few places. There's another couple of decent straights on this. I've got 5 laps to get to first. So. Yeah, I use that Bio and I keep that by my bed. So that's the one I fill up with water each night. So if I need to get a drink in the night, I don't need to like bother, you know, go into the fridge and getting like anything out the fridge. And I just, you know, every couple of days rinse it out so it doesn't taste plasticky. That's a pretty good canteen for not tasting plasticky, but I have noticed if you know, you fill it up, say on a Monday, forget to use it till the Friday, it does have a bit of a plastic taste to it, but like not to the extent it would worry me, but to the point that, you know, I just prefer cleaning the water out in it more often, and then every now and then obviously, you know, washing it out properly so it kills any germs and the, you know, like detergent type stuff. Yeah, again, it's a similar thing I find with the Osprey one to that one, Dan. It's like, it's pretty good, but if you have water in it for a longish period, it will pick up a slight taste. Sometimes it's the rubber seals in them, though, as well, not just the plastic, but I've had some canteens that are awful for, like, making stuff taste, like, really weird after they've been in them for a while. I've thankfully never had any canteens that have discoloured water, you know, like they've made it gone green or black or whatever, but, like, dyes have come off them, but there are certainly some plastics that seem better than others if you're storing, like, you know, food or drinks in them. Right, so that's the second straight kill again. Yeah, Thermos, Nick, use glass or something, don't they, inside them? Or is the glass in, like, the insulation bit in the middle? So I know you can get metal thermoses, but I'm trying to remember, like, when we've had them and they've broken, like, how they do it. Because I know there's, like, a couple of layers, aren't there, between, like, where your liquid's stored and the outside wall of it. And they're normally, like, the bit that's fragile. Oh, are they like a lot stronger now, the modern ones? Because yeah, I can just remember us having ones from like decades ago where if you dropped them, you know, all the glass would shatter and you'd have to bin them because they wouldn't keep the heat in anymore. Alright, have a good evening, Byron. Alright, after the stream, but yeah. So how does a vacuum flask work? Does it just suck the air out, or is it just like the design of it? See, I'm not that technical, I don't know how these things work. I've got a couple of flasks, but I've never looked too in depth at how they work, you know, when people have gotten me as gifts or whatever. I don't mean hip flasks, I mean actual, you know, like flasks to put a cup of tea in. But this is the wrong time of year for wanting a hot drink, but when it's winter, I definitely do like having like a load of tea in a flask for, you know, when I'm out and about doing stuff. Ah, so it's just like a void, is it? I suppose that way, yeah, the outer wall can't cool down really, can it, and affect the inner wall's temperature as much, or vice versa. Because it's, if there's a gap between them, the gap is what separates the heat layers. You know, obviously eventually it will always return to room temperature, but yeah, that makes sense. Right, 2 more laps to go and I'm comfortably in first now. I don't think so, if it's a particular brand name. The little one I've got at the moment isn't like an outdoor one. Well, it's outdoor, but you know what I mean, it's not like one you connect gas to. It's the one that you can heat MRE pouches with. As in, they're metal and they unfold. You can get them from a lot of surplus shops, and some armies have different designs, but I've got a relatively like decent, robust one. So it folds up pretty small to go in essentially like a little pocket or a bag. Then you unfold it and you can light any sort of fire underneath it, as long as the flames aren't so high they're going to burn, you know, whatever's on the top. And then yeah, you can boil water on them, or you can like heat an MRE pouch on them. But this one, it's very stable when it's unfolded, even though it's very lightweight, which is good. I'll do a video on it at some point, but yeah, that'd be a better thing for sort of doing in the winter, really, the one I've got. But like I said, it's not like a proper gas stove or anything, it's just one of those ones that... Let's pause. Yeah, you have to be careful of canteens, Dan, because some of them specifically say do not heat, because, you know, the plastics can melt. But on other canteens, yes, you can do. You just have to really know if the canteen you've got can do it or not. There's normally instructions on the side of it. Because some of the metal canteens you can boil stuff in, or at least heat water up in them. Yeah, how this thing's designed to work is I think you put like one of those dragon's breath, or whatever they're called, gel things under it. I'm trying to think of the name of the dragon something or other. Like the gel blocks. You light that on fire with a little bit of kindling, and then that heats up the thing, you know, hot enough to eat it warm properly. Or, you know, like boil water if you're putting the ration in a sort of, you know, like a saucepan type thing to heat it up. Obviously, if I'm indoors and I eat anything that's an MRE, as long as it's not something that explodes if you put it in the microwave, I normally just empty the foil pouch into a microwavable bowl and then just heat them up for a minute. Yeah, Hexy stove sounds a bit like it. Ah, okay. Yeah, this one isn't an alcohol stove. This one's designed that you just put it over a fire or something. Either Time Splitter's Future Perfect, because it depends on the genre. Time Splitter's Future Perfect for an FPS, for an RTS Stronghold or Stronghold Crusader. I'll have to have a look at that, Nick, because if it's discounted enough, it might be worth me buying some more just for, like, you know, keeping food costs down if they're cheaper than ready meals, and just doing some reviews of them. And yeah, Oddworld for, like I was saying before, Oddworld is for, like, you know, platform type game. I prefer Abe's Exodus, yeah, but Odyssey and Exodus are both excellent and new and tasty, and I've not finished Soulstorm yet, but I can stream that at some point if people want me to. So I've got that on both PS5 and PC. Because I think PS5 it was like one of those free games of the month things at one point. Oh, that's pretty damn good, yeah. So yeah, you could have 100 meals for 200 quid. That's very good, actually. I might have a look later and see if there's anything on there I particularly like, because there's obviously some I've tried which are pretty good, others I thought... I don't think I've had any I thought are nasty, but there's some I've had which I thought are just a bit meh. But there are some MREs that are really nice, I'll be off in a minute. But one of the ones I really liked is, it was called something like chicken curry with potato and rice, and that's a really nice one, although it explodes in the microwave, that one, so you kind of have to just do it on the stove or whatever. And that's really nice. It's literally what it says. It's like a fairly mild, like, chicken korma type curry with, like, mashed potato and rice. I'll definitely have to have a look at those, Nick, because there are some that I probably would buy for those sort of bulk prices. Anyway, I'll be off now because my throat is getting a bit scratchy again, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was the other day. So I'll save my voice for tomorrow's members stream, which I'll do at 7 PM for the members to remember it's on at that time if they don't get a notification. So see you then.